What a season we've just had. I'm still getting over it. Welcome back to Football Coach. It's episode number 13. One thing I've done since that last episode is I actually went back. The nice thing about recording yourself is you're able to gather extra data that we're not able to find otherwise. We had a 79 offense in that first year with all those seniors, and then they graduated, and we dropped to a 75. We've been at a 77 for each of the last 2 years. Defensively, we had a 76 in year number 1, which was dead last. We've improved that to a 78 each year since then, but we've also had that 78 drop to a 77 through injuries that brought down the level of that defense. But for the first time this year, we were not ranked last defensively with a 71st ranking. Offensively, we were 74th in that first year. We've been 78th every year since, but it was very clear that it was only a matter of time. Our ranking was higher this year, where our ratings were the same this year than last. And so we did find a way to improve, and of course we did find a way to squeeze out 2 victories. But as we are into the conference championship week, and if we're being more competitive, it's probably going to slow us down just a little bit for now, so we can see more of the progress the team is making as time goes on here. But we still have some recruiting to do for the next week and a couple weeks, actually quite a few weeks to go with the bowl season not yet underway. But we do have a signing ready to reveal, and it's a huge one because tight end has been such a difficult position to find quality at. Right now, I only have a single target, and he's A- potential. He's only a 58 overall, but it's A- potential. We have been neck and neck. We've been comfortably ahead from the looks of it to East Carolina, but Oregon State has been number 1 most of the season, and we have gotten closer and closer and closer. And just this week, I added another $100K to his NIL deal, which is not something he cares much about, but to try to give us a significant edge over them to sign this guy. So we'll see if that was enough to close the gap. They still have Oregon State as the favorite. And yes, 543 points, which is about the gap that we had. So the move that I made this week, we had been 500 points behind. The move I made this week either did not close the gap or the estimate was off and we were about 100 points further behind, or maybe 200 points further behind than what we thought. He's not going to be signing for us, so I'm going to be back to the drawing board for the tight end position to try to get one high potential recruit in for next year's class. Here's top 25 and the playoff bracket with Texas, Nebraska, Clemson, and Alabama with the byes. LSU, Notre Dame, Baylor, there you go, and Georgia. Wouldn't be Orlando. Let's see, who would that be? It's not South Florida. Certainly not Miami, that's who they're playing against. UCLA and Michigan in the other matchup. Hawaii got a bowl game. They got to 5-7. In fact, there was a number of 5-7s that squeezed into some bowl games. Next recruit ready to come in. I think we were the only ones in on him. In fact, I just finally gave him an offer this week. There was no may commit soon notice, but he had no offers, and we were the first ones to step in. And so we've picked up a good quality, good potential safety. By the way, we were able to successfully keep both promises for players this season. Likewise, again, we did not complete the bonus objectives. We never got to 170 plus rushing yards in one game. I think we got to 144, which was a record, but still a bit short of where we needed to be. Likewise, we came up a bit short here with 42 yards per game, too much. Our strength of schedule is a little too high to hit that kind of mark. And as much as we've gotten better, still not able to pick up those bonuses. UCF, Central Florida. They're 11-2, ranked number 11, and they've got the Heisman winner. Okay. All right. Nebraska, Defensive Player of the Year and Coach of the Year, ranked number 2, 12-1. And UCLA got the Freshman of the Year. One more recruit ready to commit, 57 overall, B-, and we ended up being the only one in, so we've got him signed. That was one that I sent an offer out to a very, very long time ago. I did find somebody a little bit better with a B potential, and 56 overall. That was on the list, but I couldn't offer to them until this one was sorted out. But we've got our guy for now. Running back. I've been the only offer he has had all along. 66 B overall. We had to climb to get over the others, but we have been number one on his list, according to estimates, for 3 months. And we have a 5% chance to sign him. And we're 8,000 points behind. I must have missed something. This can't be the guy that I thought it was. It was not the guy that I thought it was. Okay. Duke is in on the guy. He's number one on our list now. That was a recent one that I just threw an offer in late. Okay. I've got a number of new running backs trying to find a better option because 63 overall is not great. B is good, but there's got to be better out there, right? Technically, I still need 2 more running backs, or 3 more running backs, 2 beyond this guy, so that's why I'm still looking for that position. But these are the existing offers that are out there. 3 guys that have the gem notifier, all B or better, all 60 or better. We've got a wide receiver who's a 69 overall with A potential. Like, phenomenal. Let's hope Hawaii does not get wise. 2 of them are on the May commit soon. This guy's been on the May commit soon for a long time, and Illinois has slowly but surely been catching up to us, but they've never put in an offer. NIL doesn't mean much to them, but if they do suddenly show up, oh, you better believe I'll go into the NIL category here real quick. But they've been using their ace defensive coordinator, which I don't even have an ace defensive coordinator pitch available. There's our 61 overall A- potential cornerback who is signing with us. It's a pretty strong class we've got here. I've got a couple that I went after that are a little different, lower potential, higher current, but for the most part we are just loading this class up with mostly high school guys with high potential. And for the most part, we haven't had to dip down into the 50s at all to sign those guys. But heading into the national championship, the picture looks like this, with a Notre Dame victory over LSU, Georgia over Baylor, Miami over UCF, and Michigan over UCLA. Nebraska then beats Michigan in a close one. Miami with the upset over Clemson in the 6-4 matchup. Georgia with the win over Alabama, and Texas beating Notre Dame. And that is Georgia. So the number, right. Because the number 5 is also in that 4th spot because of the conference winner rules. So Georgia, even though they were on the road, they were able to come. Actually, that's neutral, right? Neutral in this round. Georgia then beats Texas. So Georgia coming all the way through to play in the national championship game against Nebraska, who beat Miami fairly comfortably to get there. So it's a 2-3 matchup. 14-1 for Nebraska. Georgia at 14-2, but 3 wins on the trot to get to this stage. So it's Georgia that has won the national championship. They were the ones with all that momentum coming in, and they were strong. And angry that they didn't get a first round bye, I would think. Sad thing is we meet expectations, get 2 wins, and the athletic director opinion does not change at all. So we have to exceed to bring that up. Otherwise, it's just going to hang out in this territory. Well, that seems like it's going to be a while then before it goes up. The good news, though, is at least the fan base remains at that A+ and doesn't drop. Starting to get those wins makes a big difference. Keeping promises, each of these guys adds a +2 plus the base of +3. So we get a +7 for the coach integrity, up to a 67. And with all the signings we already have, depending on how that transfer market is looking, we may well be eliminating more than 3 guys off the roster to make some space for additional signings. But getting those 2 wins, our head coach has picked up 2 levels. 2 levels. So gain 100 experience per win. We got the base expectation, so we gain 110. School academics level of 5 grants a little bit of an experience bonus, so there's 28 points. Coaches younger than 40 gain 1,000 per year, so we pick up 1,300 XP, enough to get 2 levels. I'm going to put 1 in training and 1 in recruiting for our head coach. We're also going to choose his first badge. Well, only 1 badge has to do with development, and I definitely care a lot more about that to get us competitive than getting a little bonus in game. And this actually adds a little bonus in game with the audible. But offensive practice focus is the bonus is 20% more effective, so we'll take that skill for him. We also have levels for our offensive and defensive coordinators. Ooh, we get another badge as well for him. Let's again go on the recruiting side up to a 4. Well, everything is game related for this skill badge, so it's hard to pick. And really, I think it comes down to a position that impacts 5 guys and gives them all a +2. Has a little bit more impact on the general game. Run blocking or pass blocking are both going to be very, very important to us on which way we go and what we do. I'm going to take the... Well, we really haven't been giving up very many sacks. I think we're getting a little bit of time, but we don't seem to get much push for running plays. This is going to make a big difference, so we're going to go with the bulldozers. And for the defensive coordinator, oh, he's so close. He's 13 experience away from having gotten 2 levels. He picked up a lot of XP for this one. So we're going to take a recruiting point for him. So all 3 of them pick up a point in recruiting. We also got the 1 point in training. At some stage, we will have to add a point in defense, though. 7 coaching retirements this year. So into the players leaving. First off, we've barely touched the NIL, just $100K towards somebody who's committed. Nobody entering the draft. We do have our graduates, and for the first time, we have an all-conference player. So August Powell, the linebacker, he had 84 tackles, 17 for a loss, 8 sacks, 27 pressures, 3 forced fumbles, 2 interceptions, and 8 pass deflections. Really, really good. That's career. 24 games. That's 2 seasons. 2 seasons for him. And yeah, that was really good. Really good outcome. That was our best player this year. But we have 8 players within 80 or above graduating. So that is going to take a bit to replace. In fact, almost all the seniors had some quality. 16 out of 17 seniors. At this moment, we've got 4 players wanting to transfer out, which brings us to 79 scholarships. We're definitely going to need to use the cuts, and we're going to have to look into what we can do about retaining those guys, as they're all mid-70s. So our first mess to clean up is definitely a tight end. We got 3 guys that all want playing time. I thought we had kind of already taken care of one of them, but he is the highest current ability and highest potential, though he's got terrible durability. Let's see if we can give him 20 targets. Yeah, that seems easy enough. Hold on, what did we have? He only had 7 targets this last year. We don't go after tight ends very much, but I think we'll get there with him at number 1. They kind of all want to get that 20 targets, and I'm just not sure we're going to be able to give it across the board. 30% of snaps. Now that is a promise I think we can give. I think we're going to let this redshirt junior go and hang on to the other 2 and use our a potential 70 overall coming in, who didn't play any games this season. Was he already with us though, or is he just coming in? No, he was on the roster this year. So he'll be a redshirt junior again for next year. So yeah, we're going to let him kind of take over that role. With the new kicker coming in, who of course is going to be able to redshirt, we're finally able to get rid of this other 1-star guy. That's a bit of a rough one for us trying to do anything there. That's only my 2nd. Loving the potential, though, across our D-line. All of them are a B or better. With a lot of good linebackers coming in, I'm wondering if I should get rid of our D+ redshirt junior. He's heading into that senior year, but that would free up 1 more scholarship. We'll see. kind of where we're at need-wise. Oh, here's... Okay. Oh, wants to win. A plus 77 overall. This could hurt, guys. This could hurt. Win 5 games. We're not winning 5 games, but we're going to have to let him go. I'm not going to waste the NIL money. We need to develop the facilities, and that $1.25 million is worth more to facility development than to retaining this one guy. I mean, there's a 76A overall right behind him, and there's 72s, and it's going to hurt to lose him. But we're not even gonna bother convincing him to stay. He wants to win. He's going to have to go elsewhere to do so. Cornerback's in a dangerous position because we don't have a lot of quality right now, but outside of our one old guy first year, like, 3 stars, woohoo, signing that we made, well, outside of him, I think everybody behind him has that high potential, and we should see a good amount of development from this group. Safety very much has gone in that same direction. Back to 67C might be worth getting rid of. So that's 6 players in all that we're losing. 2 for the sake of retention. 2 guys that I don't want to lose, but don't have the ability to keep them around. And then 4 that we are getting rid of that we can do better. We can find better than what they bring to the table. So just 1 coach integrity being spent to bring those guys in, and that's going to free up 8 more spots for us. After a couple of years now, we're starting to see those players hit that 100 current ability again, as we see the draft order here. Little surprised, though, that our all-conference player didn't make it into the later rounds. But 580 or so players are entering the transfer portal, so there's going to be a lot out there, a lot available, and we definitely freed up a number of spots. There's plenty more recruiting for us to do. School record book, Jaden Davis, 6 touchdowns, much better than the 2 we had gotten like the previous year. 1,800 career yards, and that is career, actually. 7 fumbles for Jaden Davis, so he dropped the ball more than he was able to get it across into the end zone. It was just shy of 3 yards per carry. Toby Bradford had our very first kick return for a touchdown. August Powell had 8 sacks in 2 years. Single season records, that's a lot of them. It was a big year for us. So 2,500 passing yards, 54% pass completion for a guy who was very much down in terms of quality at a position. 10 passing touchdowns, 6.5 yards per attempt. It's amazing how much difference having a little bit, just slightly stronger offensive line and definitely a deeper receiving core made, because we had a quarterback who really shouldn't have been doing this good. His pass efficiency rating was a 112. Sidney Freeman had 8 sacks this season. That's huge. And a lot of individual game records, half of them coming from either of the 2 wins that we had. And as for team records, we set a good amount of those too. Points per game, 13.8. We nearly got 2 scores per game. Yards per game, also almost to 300. Where defensively we almost had it down under 500. Yeah, still not great. We gave up 39 points a game, which is the best we've had. We forced 20 turnovers this season, almost 2 a game. 25 sacks this season. That was 2 a game. Okay, folks, we've reached signing day. It's a massive day for us. We have 8 spots remaining. 5 of those are big-time needs, but then I had 4 spots to filter into the last 3. And as I ordered things, I'm still not actually entirely sure which one would be left out if we get everybody that we... I know one position that I'm nervous about the signings is the offensive line. We've gotten 3 so far, and we could really use some quality. But there is a ton of really good players that we are on the verge of picking up. Some high school guys with a potential that we found in the 2-star category. There are true freshman transfers with a potential that we are going to be able to pick up. And it looks like this first group, we've got them because nobody else ended up coming in with the offer. I was a little nervous about these first couple of guys here that Hawaii had a chance at and never came in, never offered, and they were ahead of us in both. So we've got the top wide receiver that I wanted, a 69 overall, A potential out of high school. Fantastic signing. We've got a running back with A+, who's only a true freshman and a pretty decent overall already. Durability's okay on these guys. That's going to be one of the big ones too. Like, what do we have? Well, we've got an offensive lineman who's got a 60 overall and a B coming out of high school, but lacks durability. Okay, well, getting it a little bit lower, here's the first battle. This is a true freshman, 65 A-, and it looks like he did get 2 last day offers from Maryland and Mississippi State, and he's going to Mississippi State, not to us. Okay, well, there's our first miss on the day, but we only had 8 spots and we already got 4 of them on the first 4 guys on our list, so pretty good there. And it looks like we are also going to grab this cornerback who's a true freshman, but A+ potential is 66 overall, so there's number 5. So as we look down the list, I still need a tight end, and I could use either a linebacker or a safety for the other. We'll see if I got that right, or maybe I'll end up with a linebacker and a safety and not a tight end. But we do need one more offensive lineman as well. And we got a 50-50 shot at this true freshman. It's Thapa, 61 overall, A potential. 50-50, huh? Kansas State. They got him comfortably. I had a limit of 2 running backs. Like, why are you even showing me this? We were well ahead, but he shouldn't be signing with us because we weren't behind. He's going to go to Duke because I had a limit of 2 running backs. So Dale Madden not going with us. He's going to his plan B because at the last minute we said no more running backs. Had me freaked out there for a second. All right, here is our tight end. So we did get our tight end. 62 overall, B potential out of high school. That's good for that position, for us anyway. Still in need of a second lineman, and yeah, Rutgers came in and took this one away from us. It looks like I messed up my order a little bit. I really needed to get one more offensive lineman, and these 2 guys ended up a little too far down the list, where 2 outstanding options, but to get that one more offensive lineman, we're going to miss out on these guys, not because we couldn't. Well, it looks like we weren't going to get them anyway, actually, so we were going to miss out anyway, but we've got our last 2 coming in the safety, in the linebacker. I only got the 1 more offensive lineman, and we come up short on getting the second. That's it. That's all of our scholarships right there. So this guy's going to Navy, and this guy is going to Winston-Salem. It's a fantastic recruiting class, though. Most of the guys today were all A's in potential. We've picked up a lot of quality. Now, we did go for a few unusual signings this time. A 74 overall wide receiver out of high school with lower potential. I'm already starting to regret that one a little bit when I'm finding that there was better options. The offensive line, we had trouble finding some guys. I think I could have gotten a little bit further, a little bit better. I certainly could have found some C's at a similar level in the transfer market. I'm definitely figuring out the transfer market a little bit more and where I can get guys. So these couple fillers, not great pickups, really not great pickups, and I will not go for those again next season. I think I'm going to go back to the drawing board and figure, hey, we can get B or better potential kind of across the board and not even bother. We're not going to bother looking with anybody on C or lower potential next year. We'll give it a shot and see if that works out. Certainly worth it to give it a try, but we've got a recruiting class of I don't know, how much do we have? 23, so almost a full class. 20 of 23 I'm very happy with. Texas has the number 1 class ahead of Oklahoma, Alabama, UCLA, and Michigan. We know we're going to be way down the list, but getting higher each year, and that's without ignoring the 2-star guys. I scouted and scouted and scouted and scouted those 2-star guys. But we got a 4-star recruit for the first time in this class, 12 3-star guys. 65th recruiting class. Our final rank was 75th, so we gained no prestige. As sad as it is, it's also going to be really hard for us to gain prestige, it turns out, because our ranking with our low facilities, we have no boost. So even when we win more games than other teams, they are still going to come ahead of us in the final rankings. If we are 2-10 and they're 1-11, they're going to be ahead of us. If we get 4 wins or something like that, we'll start getting ahead of those teams regardless. But it's going to be really hard for us to finish above 70th at any given time. I feel like the prestige is going to hang out at a 1 a lot longer than I thought it might. When I thought we started getting some wins, it was going to pick up. But without the facilities to back that up, to get any sort of voter support, they're going to keep us near the bottom of the rankings, outside of 70th for a while yet. Bringing in $30 million for the year, no bonus. We get the standard from the conference deal, from the donors, and we pick up Penn State, $12 million from them for starting up a new OOC schedule contract. We have some other active ones, but we're going to make sure we get at least one new one this year going on that matter, so we can keep that money rolling in. But that's $30.5 million. Clearly going to have to spend a little bit, but NIL, well, that's going to be easy. $100K is all we spent on the NIL this year. We got our best recruiting class and only spent $100K in NIL money. And we did go for some of those transfers. We did try to sway those guys, but there just really wasn't much chance to do anything against a lot of them. After covering debt and maintenance, we still have $22 million. That's a good amount. That definitely makes me happy. We are seeing a benefit to having the academics boost up, but it's clear that we need to get that facilities into that next level. We need to get that base up to 2 so that we can get those preseason trainings. Will this be the year that we can make that happen? Can we get to level 7? Yes, we can. And yes, we can finally get a C for facilities, 8.75% bonus to player development in offseason. Obviously, that's a really good one, but a base gain of 2 for those preseason trainings. So that near half that we can't get something, we'll get an extra point now. We're guaranteed at least a minimum of 2, plus the scout percent for recruit camp visits up that little bit higher. Not that that matters anymore. And I think that I'm going to be content with this level for the facilities for a little while yet, because the maintenance costs just get out of control. They get higher and higher and higher. We need to get some bonuses into recruiting in other areas. We're going to need to get that marketing up so that we can start raising that prestige, and that prestige is also going to play a factor in everything else that's going along the way. So I don't know if the college life might be one we want to get going. I think that's a cheaper, easier one. Yeah, the recruiting points for camp and official visits, that's definitely going to help in recruiting. That's going to help in recruiting, plus NIL deal discount. Yeah, stretch your NIL dollars. But I don't know how well we're ever going to do with the home proximity grade. Marketing makes them feel closer to home, so we can get it up, but it's not going to be easy. Stadium gaining a level isn't even going to actually do anything at all for us. I guess first thing is I want to cover those coaching salaries in for next year. So we're going to cover most of it now, $2 million. I slowly but surely I've been trying to get ahead with that. That still leaves me $2.5 million to put elsewhere. And I think I want to get that academics up another level. I mean, at some point we are going to have a changeover in what's happening here, but the coach bonus is really helpful. Those coaches make a big difference on whether we have any chance at winning a battle recruiting, in that head-to-head. And The scraps have gotten us a long ways, and I've really learned how to get those scraps, get those leftovers that others are not recruiting, especially finding good ones in that leftovers group. But at some point, we're going to have to start taking on the other schools and beating them for better recruits. But then that takes you back to, well, hold on, the facilities, development and off-season, preseason training bonus are huge. Absolutely huge. I think we gotta just keep going on with the facilities. So we'll spend what we have. No change for the boosters. There should not be any realignment yet, though we are halfway towards. It should be happening once every 10 years that we see some amount of realignment, and that's going to take us into that schedule configuration. So this year we're going to finish 2 outstanding OOC schedules with LSU and Alabama both wrapping up. We're going to start a new one with Nebraska. They were going to schedule the Penn State one with us, but we've got to keep money rolling in at least one time each year. We don't want to push things too far back and get ourselves in trouble and have too many of these rolling, but we've got to keep one coming in each year. So that's 5 home, 7 away games, and we're going to be in for another really, really tough schedule. As per the norm, away to Oregon State, home to Hawaii. Realistically, the only easier games that we have, everybody else is top 45. Away to Washington is one of our easiest games. That's saying a lot. That's a pretty good program to be the 3rd easiest on our schedule. All right, folks. Well, that's it for this season. We're ready to roll into the new season. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Decathlon Gamer. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Have a good one. Be safe out there. Bye for now.